Have you ever noticed how two people can experience the exact same situation and walk away with completely different interpretations? One person thinks that meeting went well, and the other thinks that was a disaster. One person hears feedback and thinks, this will help me improve. Another hears the same feedback and thinks, they must think I'm terrible. Well, that's because your brain is not just observing reality. It's constantly interpreting it. And sometimes, the story your brain creates feels so believable, you mistake it for objective truth. Welcome to the Mindset Lab, where we turn insight into action and patterns into progress. If you're new here, I'm Coach Jose, and this channel is all about practical strategies to help you master your mindset, regulate your emotions, and think more clearly in everyday life. And today we're talking about something that affects every decision, relationship, conversation, and emotional reaction you have: cognitive bias. Because your brain is designed to simplify reality and not to perfectly understand it. And while those mental shortcuts are often helpful, sometimes they distort the truth. And once you understand that, you start becoming much more aware of the stories your mind automatically creates. So let's step into the lab. Your brain processes an unbelievable amount of information every second. So instead of analyzing everything deeply, it uses shortcuts. Shortcuts like pattern recognition, assumptions, predictions, emotional filtering. Psychologists call these cognitive biases. And honestly, most of the time, they're helpful. So it's kind of like mental autocorrect. It's usually helpful, but sometimes wildly inaccurate. Your brain constantly tries to fill in blanks, predict outcomes, simplify complexities, and make fast judgments. The problem is fast interpretations are not always accurate interpretations. And most people don't realize they're reacting to a mental filter, not pure reality. Now, one of the biggest cognitive biases is confirmation bias, which basically means your brain looks for evidence that supports what it already believes. So if your internal story is, people don't respect me, your brain becomes hyper-focused on moments that you feel disrespected. If your story is, I always fail, your brain notices mistakes faster than progress. If your belief is, nobody understands me, your attention automatically locks into evidence supporting that narrative. You see, the brain often notices what confirms a story it already believes. And this happens everywhere: relationships, politics, leadership, self-image, social media, and our communications. It's like creating a custom algorithm inside your mind. The more attention you give a story, the more evidence your brain feeds back to you. Now, here's where emotions enter the picture. Your emotional state changes how your brain interprets reality. When you're stressed, neutral situations can feel threatening. When you're anxious, uncertainty feels dangerous. When you're insecure, feedback feels personal. When you're emotionally overwhelmed, your interpretations become more negative. And this is why two people can experience the same situation very differently. Not because they're not reacting to the facts, they're reacting through emotional filters. Your emotional state changes how your brain interprets reality. And honestly, this is why self-awareness matters so much. Because if you don't understand your filters start controlling you. So how do we become less trapped by cognitive bias? Well, not by becoming perfectly objective, but by becoming more aware of our interpretations. And one of the best ways to do that is using what I call the reality check method. So step one, pause the story. Ask yourself, what story is my brain creating right now? Now that question is powerful because most people automatically assume that my interpretation is reality. But interpretation is not always truth. Awareness creates distance, and distance creates perspective. Step two, separate facts from assumptions. Now this is a biggie. The fact may be, they responded briefly. The assumption may be they must be upset with me. The fact may be I made a mistake. The assumption may be I'm incompetent. The fact may be the conversation feels tense. The assumption is everything is falling apart. See, the brain naturally fills in blanks, but your assumptions are not facts. Step 3, look for other possibilities. So next you want to ask yourself, what else could be true? Maybe that other person is stressed, distracted, overwhelmed, tired, busy, or dealing with something completely unrelated to you. This question weakens cognitive rigidity. And honestly, it creates healthier communications too, because certainty is often where conflict escalates. Step 4, check your state. Now, this is crucial. If you're exhausted, stressed, emotionally flooded, angry, anxious, or overwhelmed, your interpretations become less reliable. A dysregulated nervous system creates distorted thinking. That's why emotional regulation matters so much for clear thinking. Calm creates clarity. Now, most people believe that they're reacting to reality when they're actually reacting to a story about reality. And the more aware you become of mental filters, the more emotionally intelligent, grounded, curious, and intentional you become. Because the goal is not perfect objectivity. The goal is becoming less trapped by unconscious interpretation. Hey, if this resonated with you, make sure you check out this week's full episode of the Personal Mastery and Growth Podcast, where we go much deeper into cognitive bias, mental filtering, emotional perceptions, and the psychology behind how we interpret reality. And if you want deeper reflections, mindset tools, and weekly challenges designed to help you apply these ideas in real life, come join me over on Substack at coachjosejohnson.substack.com, as that's where we continue the conversation beyond the podcast and YouTube videos. And if this helped, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who might need this reminder today. And remember, not every thought is truth, not every emotion is fact, and not every story your brain creates is reality. So until next time, remember, it is what it is, but it becomes what you make it. So make it great.